Hi, and welcome to ICT Revision Notes. Today we're looking at Chapter 3, Storage Devices and Media. In this chapter, we intend to revise magnetic media and storage devices, optical media and their storage devices, solid-state media and their storage devices, and finally we look at the future of storage devices. All right, now I want to encourage you to hit the subscription button, make a like, and then share the video, let others also benefit. All right, so let's get started. Now we want to talk about magnetic media. So when we talk about magnetic media, we are basically referring to a technology that makes use of the principle of magnetism to store data. All right, now it works by using a special coating made of iron oxide that can be magnetized to represent binary values. And by this we mean ones and zeros. Now, these methods allow large amount of data to be stored in a very small space. And the most common devices that utilize these magnetic properties, magnetic tape drive and hard disk drive. Here are some pictures of magnetic drive, hard disk drive, and then magnetic tapes. All right. Now, let's look at magnetic tape drive. Now, a magnetic tape drive is just a thin strip of plastic that is being coated with iron oxide. So what we mean is this here. So this brownish plastic here is what we refer to as a thin strip of plastic, okay? So this thin strip of plastic is being coated with iron oxide, and data is being stored on those plastic in two forms. One as magnetized area and then demagnetized area representing zero. All right, now to access data, a read and write head is being utilized in magnetic tapes, and this makes it possible to read and store information on the tape. Now again, to access data on this magnetic tape, you do it in a serial manner. Now what this means is that you cannot just jump from one part and go to the other. And so let's take an example. For example, if you have a video, you are watching a video and you want to access some part of the video, let's say you want to access a specific thing on the video, you can then jump from one point and move straight to the scene you want to watch. You have to go through every other scene before you get to what you want to watch. And so this makes it a very slow process to use if you are dealing with real life application. Now, magnetic tapes are used for batch processing, they are used for backups, and again, they are used for long-term archiving. All right. Now, let's look at some advantage of magnetic tape drive. They are very cost-effective per byte, and then they are robust and stable over time. And then they have high data storage capacity compared to other storage media. And that is why they are used for backup, right? Now, again, they have a fast data transfer rate, but very slow access time. And this is a disadvantage. So the disadvantage with the magnetic tape drive is that they have a slow data access due to their serial nature of accessing data. All right. And then again, they require multiple tapes for updates, which can introduce some form of errors. Now, what this means is that if you have, for example, a tape that is quite large, right? Magnetic tape that is quite large, and you have some information on it, and you want to transfer it to another tape because it's getting older or something, or for a backup. Now, what happens is that if the size of the tape is not as big as the first one, it means that you're going to need an additional tape to do the recording. And when that happens, you end up introducing some errors in the recording process. And that is what that step means. And then finally, for a disadvantage, they are vulnerable to strong magnetic field because they are made of magnets. When you introduce them to very strong magnetic field, they can easily corrupt the data on it. These are good examples of magnetic tapes. All right, now we move to hard disk drive. Magnetic disk drive also uses magnetic surfaces referred to as platters to store data. and they have multiple platters and read and write head that make it very quick to access data. Now, the process of accessing data on hard disk drive is the direct access. So what it means is that if you are watching a movie and you want to quickly make reference to something you've watched earlier, you can just jump straight to that point and click on play to watch it. Unlike the magnetic tape where you have to go through every scene in order to arrive at the part you want to watch. All right, so that is it for direct access. Now, they are used to store operating system, application, and working files. Again, they are used in real-life systems such as robot and online reservation system. Again, they can be used in networking for file servers to solve large amounts of file and for data management. There are some advantages to the use of hard disk drive. That is one, the rate at which data is transferred and accessed is much faster compared to the magnetic tape drive. And then again, they have large memory capacity to store any information you want. The disadvantage of hard disk drive is that they are susceptible to physical damage. Because they have moving parts, when you drop it, you can easily damage it, okay? And then they contain moving parts, which can also affect the way they are reliable. Now, because the moving parts keep on spinning and spinning, anything can happen and then they stop working all of a sudden. Then again, they have noisy operation compared to solid state drive, which don't have any moving parts. Now, because of their moving parts, when it's getting older, you kind of hear some sound in the way it works when the head is spinning. All right, so these are some disadvantages and advantage of hard disk drive. Next, we look at portable hard disk drive. Now, portable hard disk drive are very much similar to hard disk drive, except that these ones are portable, right? So they are just external hard disk drive that are connected with the USB port, and they are used basically for backups and transfer of files. Okay, so backups and then transfer of files. So again, you can transfer file from one or movies or anything you want to use from one computer to the other, making use of the portable hard disk drive. Now, some advantages of the portable hard disk drive is that they have lightweight and compact, and that make it very easy to carry around. Again, it is ideal for backing up any file to prevent data loss. And then again, they provide a large amount of storage space and very affordable compared to the solid state drive. Now, what this means is that if you take a solid state drive that is about 1 gigabyte, right, and compare it to the price of a solid state drive that is 1 gigabyte, you notice that the price of the hard disk drive, in this case a portable hard disk drive, they have slower data transfer speed compared to solid state drive. And then again, they are sensitive to damage when you drop them. Now, they can easily also be misplaced because they are very portable. Someone can just also steal them, all right? And then the last part is that because they have the mechanical parts that keep on spinning and spinning, I mean, it can easily wear out over time, and that can also cause you to lose every information you have on the portable hard disk drive. All right, next we move to optical media and their storage devices. So when we talk about optical media, we are referring to storage devices that use laser technology to read and write data. Okay, the most common types of optical media we have is the CDs, the DVD, and the Blu-ray. All right, now when it comes to CDs and DVD, there are three main descriptions that you need to remember. The first one is R, which is recordable, and then we have the RW, which is rewritable, and then the ROM, which is the read-only memory. Now, the moment you write or burn data on a CDR or a DVD-R, it automatically becomes a ROM. All right, we'll explain that as we progress. Now, there are other technologies behind the way CDs and DVDs behave. Now, one, both CDs and DVDs make use of a thin layer of metal alloy or a light-sensitive organic dye coating to store data. And again, data is stored in bits and lands on a spiral track that runs from the center of the text to the edge. CDs and DVDs make use of red laser okay, to read and write data. And again, the read and the write head do not touch the surface of the disk. All right. And then the disk is being divided into sectors that allow you to directly access the data that you are interested in. And then finally, DVD mostly have what is referred to as double layer. That means they have the capacity to store two individual recordings on a layer. Okay. And they have what is referred to as a semi-transparent layer that allows the laser to focus on either the first or the second layer and read from it. So we're looking at CDR and DVDRs. So R means what? Recordable. Okay. All right. So some uses of CDR and DVDR, they are basically used for recording music, films, or any data that you want to store for a later use. You can just record them on the CD or a DVD-R. All right. Now it has some advantages. They are very cheaper than the rewritable disk. And then once you burn any information on this CDR, they become a ROM. What this means is that once data is written on it, it's permanent, right? So you can't do anything to it again. So it becomes a ROM. You can only read from it, right? Now, some disadvantages to the CD and DVD-R is that they can only be recorded once. And so because you can't rewrite on them, it makes it a disadvantage. So anytime you want to do any burning, it means you have to go and buy some more CD-R or DVD-R. Now, not all players or devices are able to recognize the DVD-R or the DVD-R. Okay, the CDR and DVD-R are not compatible with all players. All right. Here are some pictures on some DVD-R and CDRs. Okay, next we look at CD rewritable and DVD rewritable. Now, they are basically used for recording TV programs multiple times, and then they can also be used in CCTV systems as well as for backups. All right, so now because they can be rewritten over, it comes as an advantage, and they have different file formats that can be recorded on this CDs or DVD. And then the last one is that they are less wasteful than CDR or DVD-R. So you don't have to buy a lot of CDs to do the recording. Once you have a CDR or DVD-R that you don't want to use again, for whatever is on it that you don't want to use again, you can overwrite on it and then make use of the new recording on it. Some disadvantages are that they are relatively expensive compared to the CDR, and then the risk of accidentally overwriting on data is also really high. Now, so because we can rewrite on it, which is an advantage, it can also become a disadvantage. So for example, if you have some information on that CD or DVD and you forget yourself, you can rewrite on it. So what it means is that whatever was on it initially cannot be retrieved once you write over it. Okay, then the last one is that CD and DVD RWs typically have slower write speed compared to the rate at which information is written on the CDR and the DVD-R. Here again are some images of CD-RW and DVD-RW. Okay, then we look at CD-ROM and DVD-ROM. Now, they are basically used to store files of data permanently. So for music, software, computer games, and any large files that you want to record. Some advantages of this is that they are less expensive than hard disk drive, and then the disadvantage is that they have a slower data transfer and access rate. Now, in time past, if you want to install, for example, an operating system, say Windows 7, you need a DVD-ROM. Okay, so this here has a software on it already, recorded on it already, and the only thing you can use it for is to install the operating system, and that is it. And this is here, and again you have some video CDs here, and we have a PlayStation 2 recording, so you have games on this here, and this here has an encyclopedia which has some recorded informations on it, more or less like a dictionary and you can do nothing to the CD, bound to read information that have been recorded on it. So that is what we mean by CD-ROM and DVD-ROMs, right? Now we come to Blu-ray disc. Now, Blu-ray discs use blue laser for reading and writing data, and this makes it to have a very high precision to write data on bits compared to the CD and DVD CDs, right? Now, they also have a much larger data capacity. They are able to hold large data capacity compared to the DVDs. So for single layered Blu-ray discs, you have a maximum of 27 gigabytes, and for double layered discs, you have about 50 gigabytes as compared to 8.5 gigabytes for DVDs. DVD RAID discs comes with some automatic encryption that helps it to prevent people from pirating files that are written on it, right? And then again, they offer a very fast data transfer rate of 36 megabytes per second compared to DVDs that are 10 megabytes per second. Finally, the Blu-ray technology allows for greater interactivity, enabling features such as recording high-definition TV programs, creating playlists, and then editing recorded content and accessing online features. Now, again, the uses of Blu-ray discs are: one, for home video games console, and then for storing and playing high-definition video or movies, all right? And again, they are used for data storage and backups. The advantages of Blu-ray discs are: one, they're able to store large data, and then they have inbuilt encryption that enhances security against piracy, and then again they have a fast data transfer and access rate. The disadvantage to Blu-ray discs are: one, they have high cost compared to DVD. Of course, the storage capacity of the Blu-ray is much larger than the DVD. And then the next one is that they have potential encryption issue when storing video. Now, because they have some hidden encryption properties, storing videos on it sometimes can be problematic. Then finally, they have the competition from some high definition DVD players that has lessened some of the Blu-ray discs advantages. All right. Now, so here are some images of devices that use Blu-ray discs, and an image of a Blu-ray disc right there. Okay, next we're moving to solid state drive, the last but one. Now, solid state media such as SSD and USB drives store data in memory cells, all right, and just like the one here, all right. And each cell contains what is referred to as a floating gate transistor. And so this is a typical diagram of a floating gate transistor, where we have the control gate and the floating gate. So the control gate controls the flow of electrons, and it is used to program the floating gate. And in flash memories, each intersection, right, contains what is referred to as a control gate and a floating gate, like you can see, and they are being separated by dielectric coatings. So this blue area here are dielectric coatings, basically insulators that do not allow the floating gates, the electrons, the floating gates, to move to the control gate, and in the process they retain their charge. Now, the charge in the solid state device sometimes may leak if they are not being used for over a period of 12 months. They can leak from the floating gate to the control gate. All right. Now let's look at some uses of solid state drives. Now, solid state drives are basically used for storing files, application, operating systems, and they are basically replacing the traditional hard disk drive that we already have. Some advantages to the solid state drive is that they do not have any moving parts, and as a result, they reduce the rate at which they fill. Okay, and they are very tiny and very light in weight. And then again, when you have an SSD in your device compared to an HDD, you'll notice that this SSD boots much faster compared to the HDD. One disadvantage of SSDs are that they usually rated for about 20 gigabytes of writing per day over 3 years. Now, what this means is that once the SSD is being used over a period of time, what happens is that the NAND flash memory begins to lose the ability, and when it happens is that they become less reliable. And so with time, I mean, they begin to lose their reliability. Then they now we move to pen drives. Now pen drives are also known as memory sticks, and they are small portable devices that make use of solid state technology, right? And these pen drives draw their power when they are being connected to the computer. So they get their power from the USB ports that they are being connected to. And so they do not require any external power. Now, flash drive is a broader term that is mostly used to refer to as the solid state technologies such as pen drives. So it's either a flash drive or a memory stick, right? And these are some pictures of pen drives, memory sticks, or flash drives. Okay, so uses of pen drives basically to move files from one computer to another, and they are also used as dongles to prevent software piracy. Okay, some advantages of pen drives are that they are very compact and portable, and robust and durable. Again, you do not need an additional software to use these pen drives, and then they are not affected by magnetic fields, right? The disadvantages of pen drives are that it cannot protect data by making it read-only. Anyone who has your pen drive can easily copy what is there. It is not made read-only. And then again, easy to lose due to their small size. You can easily throw it away, or someone can easily pick it and use for you. All right. And then finally, if you do not carefully remove pen drive when they are being in use, you can easily corrupt it, or it can stop working if you don't eject it properly before you pull it out of your computer. All right. So again, here are some pictures of pen drives that we know of. Next, we look at memory cards. Now, memory cards again use solid state technologies to store data, and they are inserted into devices to read or write data onto them. So mostly we make use of this in our phones or cameras, and we can even insert it onto our computers to retrieve files that are being stored on them. Three main types of memory cards that we're supposed to know as far as the syllabus is concerned is SD cards that are mostly small cards, and they have very high capacity memory, and they are used in cameras and smartphones and tablets. Again, we have XD cards that are also designed for cameras, and then we have the CFast cards that can also be used in cameras, high definition cameras. All right. Now, memory cards basically are used to store pictures, okay, on digital cameras, and used to move information from probably your smartphone to a computer, and they can also be used to in MP3 players to store music, and they can also be used for backups. Some advantages of memory cards is that they are easily removable for use in other devices, and then they are durable because they do not have moving parts. Again, you can hold substantial amount of data on these cards, and then devices that can read and write to memory cards facilitate easy transfer of data. Okay, all right. Now, some disadvantages of memory cards are: one, they are more expensive per gigabyte compared to hard disk drive. So in some cases, some of the memory cards can be more expensive. Okay, and then another disadvantage is that they have less storage than hard disk drive. And then they have limited read and write cycle. Now, finally, not all computers are built with memory card slots or readers to facilitate the reading of those memory cards. Again, these are some pictures of the types of memory cards that we have available. Finally, we want to look at the future of storage devices. Now, you agree with me that CDs and DVDs are becoming obsolete, and not a lot of people are making use of CDs nowadays. Rather, people prefer to use flash drives or pen drives to transfer data. Okay, and when it comes to listening to music, a lot of people will prefer to have the music saved on their hard disk drive or MP3 devices. Okay, or they want to play straight from the cloud or using streaming sites. Okay, so most smart TVs enables people to stream videos without the need of DVD or Blu-ray players. All they need is an internet, and once you connect to the internet, they are able to play or watch any movie they want. All right, so that brings us to the end of chapter 3. I encourage you to hit the subscription button, share the video, make some comments, and hit the like button, and let others also benefit from this video. There are some few questions here on what we've done on chapter 3, and once you click on the chapter 3, it sends you to the quiz, and I encourage you to take time and take the quiz and see how much information you have retrieved watching this particular video. So to meet again.